She Stays the Night, a poem in 9 stanzas and a coda. 1. Each time I feel the night embrace me, the darkness take me in its arms, even when she is not there in blood and bone, not folded deftly to my side. She stays the night. She alone delays the flight of time, so the moment does not pass, the hour does not flow, nor do I know if it will come again. If she will mold her body against mine, the drowsy nymph draped in an aged oak. That she stops time, this is the way her body loves the sexual rite, inviting her to be loved back. And lest this act stray from our arms, eroded by the moment passing, she stems the flow of bodies tangent, the undertow of rapture spilled and spent as we too glide beneath it. She is wild and serene at once, and in one solemn, searing kiss, she will consent with me to float in bliss and give the night a rest. For she is paradise, the body tree bent by desire, hinged on lascivious ease, limbs spread like a weeping willow over the soft torrents of our pleasure. In her arms I am the lover of all women. All the ripe girls I can imagine have her taste unique, and all the lovely eyes that I might stop and study, divining in my way a way into desire. All gather in her look and seek only me, no other bliss but ours. Here in this shadowed glow, her kisses graze my face. Her wonder leaves me looking at how she looks at me. The guileless supplication reflected in her lively, narrowed gaze. We crave to fuse, no move or mood in question, no impulse left untriggered. Her eyes, her glance aside, say, "Take me there." I take her where I go to dream awake and sink away in darkness beyond time. 2. Tell me what you see, she whispers, what you alone can see. Her voice barely a sound I catch, the mere brush of a raven's wing on silk, a texture of the jasmine-scented air. I see her always as I saw her once. Kalipikos, the old Greek lecturers sang, of beautiful haunches. One woman whose neck becomes a vase, her body stemming from it, shaped, yes, as if poured from that vase, and flowing downward renders the soft rush that hurries silent water over rocks. The left side of her face looks back, a cameo of wicked charm. A sheaf of blonde hair on that shoulder laid. Along her side, an arm in serpentine repose waits casually for the gesture of return that brings her around to another moment of delight, tight and tender, so that together we pause on hastened breath and still the night. The challenge in her playful eyes, that candor, such a revelation. After it captured me, still overflowed, her guileless force comes on like moss and draws me down to fountainhead and flower. So thus she turned her back to me, offered what she could not see with a sly nod of invitation. And catching bronze glint blonde in that darkish glow, I startled yet again at the spill of it, the way the wave of her blonde cascade did halt the evening on its course, the moment caught in arrested flow, and so the cadence of her beauty brought passion to its consummation, revealing how she, and she alone, will stay the night. Now I am the deer caught in her light, spun on the slow turning look she leaves behind, and watch the spill of her innocent nape erupt and shudder down her back. A line of little flossy bumps trace the parkour of her spine to where her haunches part and flare, where shadows feathered edge to edge design a furrow deeply hid, a secret track divined by dare down to a faintly smoky flue, compressed upon a prim rosette, a pleated, pale, vermilion rim that turns to darker pink within, a pucker closed on silence, sweet as hell. And then a little satin dell, the interchange behind to front, and there she spreads her shuttered flame, a brazen peach swollen and slit, a cache of butterflies in gel, her niche so nakedly adorned, from clit to slot, the ruffle runs the whole 9 licks right to the dripping core. Her nether seam a rush of pearls, and beauteous as streaming ore. She is my whore, but so unlike another the name does not define the case. She is my dose of carnal base. She loves to let me have my way with brutal care and taunting play. She is nobody's whore, nor will she be any creature but mine, and mine alone. 3. Do men still live who make sweet talk to praise the nubile maids who walk like magic deer and spread their charms across the world, both far and near? He lived to touch and praise her body, that she be loved first for what she was, not who. And love would find her there, ripe for abandon, to resurrect who she is into the next becoming. The country boy on a sloping lane not far from the roar of the sea smelled berries underneath the pines, blue jewels tucked into ledges where mica glints by tallow light in August. The afternoon is long, and the boy wonders, will she stay the night? Not knowing who she is or what, or even that he wonders so. Too young at 4 to linger on the notion, he let the sunlight lick his cheek, the day swirl on its drunken course and sink away, so far away, toward the inviting reach of that future lust, where her arms will reach him at last. But as if by chance, fragrant and strong, warm, honest, and inviting, and he will melt with her into desire cast, surrendered to the fusion trance. Before he knew the touch of any woman, he dreamt her presence, knew how she will look at him, to him, through him. Although he cannot picture or predict how he will look at her, so nakedly that she accepts his gaze with pride and matches it to hers, returns it, even here in the silent wood, foreseeing the primal invitation, the call to adoration. He sees her eyes devoid of guilt or guile, no hint of demand, no tremor of defense, no hesitation. Before he ever saw her face, he knew her form, knew her in womanhood like Artemis, like the archer knows the twang of string and bow, the tension of the body arc, the moaning that befits it. And so, when at last she came his way, it was easy as could be to detect the dancing gait, the skip in her walk, the taut, elusive way she moves and leaves her breath upon his neck in passing, reckoning for a distant kiss. Even there and then, alone in the pine-scented wood, with cowslip and iris in blossom along the ledges stacked in brute ridges down to the salt-backed sea, her natural allure enchanted him. Like the flowers he knelt to smell, tempted to lick the chalice wet with dew, the cleft of beauty brimmed to the full with a nameless ache of craving. He would be alchemist, researching the elixir of life straight to the grail. But would she be his soror mystica, to delight with him in sweet complicity? Does perfect passion never fail? Before he set his eyes on her, this woman lurked by the ledges adorned with sea-scented fern and hidden berries, the fragrant clue of friendship sage. All nature would translate into her scent and re-emerge the night she turned, inviting him to look at what she could not see. And there he glided down to Eden's spring, but rather like the Amazon, with all its fruits and flowers distilled into a single flaunting scent. The trepidating taste spilled on his naive, delving tongue. So then, reaching her secret slit, there was no thrill left to desire when she stilled the night for once and ever in its depth, and to live in her then was a final act, not a tremor missed, not a sigh bereft. This innocence intact brought her to what? Solace and the sealing of a pact, and confirmation to be what she was, not merely who, but to be loved for who as well was destiny exact.